Lancaster, the city where I've lived for 3 years now. There's history to be found here everywhere you look. One of the country's oldest markets, renowned food and restaurants on every corner. It's a real cross-section of old and new worlds. It truly is a gem of a place. But like so many other places in our country's history, it's also home to one of the worst human tragedies imaginable, one that will tarnish the legacy of the state forever.
Here I am, downtown Lancaster. I'm outside the Fulton Theater right now, and I'm here because this building actually used to be the Lancaster County Jail at the time of the Paxton Boys massacre of the Susquehannock people.
By 1763, the Susquehannock Empire had long been decimated by disease and war with the Iroquois nation. The remaining few tribe members lived in the Lancaster area and were known as Conestogas. Later that year, a group of white settlers known as the Paxton Boys hunted and murdered the remaining Susquehannock tribe members at this site, the Fulton Theater in downtown Lancaster, a tragedy that officially spelled the end of what was once Central PA's most powerful Native American tribe.
You're watching PA Native. Just left Lancaster City. We're heading out to the country, heading out to the woods. We got Thad, we got Bernie back there, Pocono's back there somewhere. Kim is here.
Pokey's right here.
Pocono's right down here. Sadie's also back here somewhere. So we're heading out to explore one of the namesakes for the Susquehannock Native American tribe. Several hundred acres of pristine wilderness right next to the Susquehanna River. An area where they would have inhabited and probably had one of their larger towns, one of their larger settlements. And we're gonna go see hopefully some of the nice views of the river that are out there on the trails. And we're also going to search for Paw Paws, the Paw Paw tree, the fruit. Thad is known to have searched the woods for that in several other parts of the state. So we're going to see if we can find any Paw Paws at this time of the year and see what else Susquehannock State Park has to offer. We are pulling up to Susquehannock State Park. First thing we've noticed on the drive out here, this is very remote. A prime example of how much farmland and flatness there is to find in Lancaster County. It's all we've seen for about 25 minutes. Keep our eye out for some trailheads. We have a couple trails we definitely want to get to. We're coming into the state park actually as we speak. We just passed one trailhead. No sign of a parking lot quite yet. It's a beautiful day to be outside and actually walking. It's been a hot summer. Summer 2020. It's the perfect time to be out in nature, social distancing. This looks like more of a recreation area maybe. It actually looks like a camping group.
Overlook parking.
Here's a map. Actually, there's some people looking at it now. There's more people in line to take a look. Like I said, there's only a few hundred acres here. About 5 to 6 miles worth of hiking trails. So none of us have been here. We're going to try to get our bearings and see where we need to start. We have a couple trails we want to hit, and we'll tell you which ones here in a moment. Thad's got a map here. Hawk Point is the one that overlooks the river. We're gonna head down a stone path towards what we believe is the river over to our left. It's a little bit disappointing to see that there's not a big map. We'll figure out exactly where we have to go. It's beautiful territory. You can see why this tribe would have settled on the edges of the Susquehanna, basically from the Chesapeake Bay on up. We're about to see some of the views that they would have woke up to. They of course would have been fishing and using this river to their full advantage. This might be the most dogs that we've ever had in one segment. Bernie, Sadie, and Pocono, all enjoying a nice little walk to the overlook. Here we are at the Susquehanna River overlook at Susquehannock State Park. This is one of the wider sections of the entire river, and it's because this has been dammed up and this is a lot calmer water. People use it to take their boats out. This has almost become like a marina. This right here was the Susquehannock tribes domain. From here all the way down south to the very northern tip of the Chesapeake Bay, all the way north to basically the New York border.
Just hang out here, read a book, relax.
I would go through a lot of quarters looking through those holes.
Susquehannock on this side, the Nappy on the other side, and they would have looked at the English sailing up the river and just fired their arrows down on them, raining arrows down, trying to take them out.
I want you to take a few photos of me. You should be documented. Oh God, people need to know the struggle I went to get up here. Yeah, go that way, and then you can get me kind of like just taking in nature, like.
Well, we've had a nice photo shoot up here. This is one of the nicer river views of the Susquehanna I've ever seen, and I've spent a lot of time on and around this river. It's barely even a hike, it's more of just a short walk, just to come down here and take in this view. Trying to figure out exactly which direction we want to head now. We want to look for Paw Paws. Thad's got the map, so he is going to try to take the lead here on finding the next possibly overlook or vista, if you will. And then we'll try to go a little deeper into the park. So we left the river overlook. We're gonna take a right. We're gonna go down in elevation just a little bit here. Bernie is all sorts of excited right now. There's horseback riding on these trails, and you can tell because they're a little muddy. You can tell they're heavily used. Also look out for piles of horse manure.
I mean, the trails are marked, but I'm not sure what we've been out to. And there's nothing right here.
Let's just keep walking this way.
Well, we just did probably most of the overlook trail. Definitely giving us a little workout. At one point I actually found myself wishing I had my hiking shoes on instead of my sneakers, and turns out Kim made the right call, because that trail just a little uneven, very downhill. I was wishing I had a little bit of ankle support. The edge of that trail just brought us out to an open field, and we think we're fairly close to where we parked the car. I'm still not entirely sure where the trail is that's really known for the Paw Paw trees. So yeah, it turns out
there's the camper.
We are not super close to our car. We're not super far. This place is a little confusing, so we're gonna take the road.
A nature trail.
A nature trail. Also not what we're looking for. Not that we don't love a good nature trail, but we don't know if these trails lead to other trails. So also the nature trail is not on the map, just like the fire trail was not on the map. We're back to the car, having only seen one or two small Paw Paw trees that Thad was able to identify that didn't have any fruit, trying to find the trail that is known for having the Paw Paw trees. There's a trail marker down here with some writing on it. We're gonna come down and see what this says. Does it literally only have Overlook Trail on here? This is all it says? We have not been able to figure out, navigate a clear way to get there. We're doing what we can. It's been a really hot summer. Not every day has been a good day to get out and hike. We have, again, cross paths with the nature trail.
These are all Paw Paws. These lower ones here, these are all Paw Paws on the undergrowth. This, I'm not so sure of this tree here, but you can see actually Paw Paws are usually pretty smooth bark. And so this tree I don't think is, but they're interspersed. So there's a lot of young Paw Paw growth on the hillside this way. It's just patchy in here. They've just been starting to grow probably in the last 10 to 20 years here. The real large leaves, that's a Paw Paw there. Rhododendron kind of looks similar, but the leaves tend to be smaller. Paw Paw is like a mango banana taste. It's good. You don't get a ton from the fruit. Chefs down the Lancaster area will go out with teams, pick Paw Paws, and they'll make like Paw Paw cheesecakes and Paw Paw desserts. And it'll be especially on their menu for, you know, maybe a month, something like that.
We can confirm that they're here. There's Paw Paw trees here. This is a smaller patch that we found. Because of how we're unorganized the trails are and the maps, we don't know exactly where we're going. So, you know, at this point in the evening, we're ready to kind of go back.
Yeah, you kind of have to know where the trails are. And I think we have one we have to cut down here, then we cut onto another one, and then we have to cut onto another one. With it being 7 o'clock now, I think it could take us another hour to get to where we want to go. So that is gonna really cut us close in getting back before it gets dark. And I'm not exactly sure how far we'll be from the parking area. This is a very small patch of young growth Paw Paw right here on the hillside. Whether or not these would produce fruit, it's difficult to tell. They might not be old enough yet at this location, so you may have to hike further to get to the larger patch that may produce fruit.
Tropical fruit growing on the shores of the Susquehanna River. Just gotta put the work in to go find it. We're gonna head back. Slightly underestimated the workout I was gonna get. This is a small state park. A lot of this is on the bank of the river. The elevation is steep.
There's only about 5 miles of trail to hike in Susquehannock State Park, but jammed into this small state park in southern Lancaster County are breathtaking river views, patches of tropical fruit trees, endless amounts of plant and animal wildlife, and a whole lot of Pennsylvania history.
At the end of our journey for the day here at Susquehannock State Park. It's great to explore one of the primary namesakes of the tribe of Native Americans that ruled all through central Pennsylvania. The people who had this land before we came here. It's nice to have something dedicated in honor of the Susquehannocks. We'll see you next time.